my name's Rob Cubban and welcome to my course called Real World Graphic Design, Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator. Thank you very much for doing this course. I really hope you enjoy it, and enjoy is the operative word because although I'm trying to give you the real world usage of Illustrator and Photoshop, the sort of usage you will use in a design studio downtown, or maybe if you're running your own design business from home. But I also want to show you the fun involved in using these software applications, because graphic design is fun and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy this course. So by way of introduction, I want to just show you a few of the basic commands we'll be using in Photoshop and Illustrator. And although this course will be for beginners to intermediates, I'm going to give you the key commands that professional designers will use. So if we want to create a new document in Photoshop, we'd go Command N, which would be the same as going up here, File, New. And then you can fill in the fields of the size, whether you want them at sizes in pixels or centimeters. The resolution, if it's for web, it will be 72. If it's for print, it will be more than that, maybe 200 or 300. The color mode, if it's for web, it will be RGB usually. If it's for print, it may be CMYK, and the background contents. And still with Photoshop, if we look down the left-hand side, this is the toolbar, and at the moment the tool we are using is the Move tool, which you can select by just keying the letter V. Other tools we'll be using are the Gradient tool, which you can get by keying the letter G. There's the Gradient tool. And we'll be using many others as well. I'll just introduce you to the Layers palette. Here is the Layers palette for this document, and you can see how a Photoshop document is put together in layers. Here is the background layer. That is actually locked at the moment, you can see that. If you wanted to unlock it, you just double click on it and press return there, and that unlocks the layer. So then if you were to select the Move tool, you could then move that layer. Above the background layer you'll see 4 layers there, and because they don't have that eye icon there, that means those layers are invisible. But above you have 5 layers that are visible, as you can see from the eye icon. These 2 layers are text layers, and the reason you can see they're text layers, of course, is because they have the letter T there in the thumbnail, and this means that they're editable. So if you use the horizontal type tool, which is T on the toolbar, you can edit the text. These 2 layers here, layer 4 and layer 5, are screenshots I've taken for the Photoshop and Illustrator icons. And lastly, this layer is a vector smart object, which I'll explain later in the course what that is, and that is my logo. So a brief introduction to Photoshop there. Now let's go on to Illustrator. And before I do, I should mention that at the moment I'm using Creative Suite version 5. Some of the videos are with Creative Suite version 4. But I will have to say that everything I'm doing in these videos you can replicate in virtually any version of Photoshop or Illustrator you may have at home on your computer. Trust me, I've been using both of these for a long time. In fact, I started on Photoshop 2.5, but I don't like to say that because it means I'm old. Right, so on to Illustrator, and here is a document that we are going to be creating in the course later on. And again, I just want to show you some key commands. So Command N gives us a new document, and very much like Photoshop, you can choose the resolution, the color mode, the size, and you can do it in pixels or millimeters. So a lot of these commands are similar between Photoshop and Illustrator, but not all of them. Another similar one is V, the Move tool, up here on the toolbar, and with that you can select and move objects. Other tools we'll be using are T for Type tool, again, which works very similar to Photoshop. P, the Pen tool, which again is exactly the same in Photoshop. And G for Gradient, which again is the same in Photoshop. We'll also be using these 2 boxes at the bottom, which in Illustrator are for fill and stroke. Fill is the colour of the inside of the shape, and stroke is the line that runs outside the shape. So, little introduction for you there. I hope you enjoyed that. I have found in my life as a graphic designer and web designer, and I've been doing it for a few years, the best way to learn Photoshop and Illustrator is just to dive right in there. So I hope you dive right in there with this course, and I hope you enjoy it, and please let me know in the comments and the questions what you think, and I look forward to meeting you. I'll see you soon. Bye.